Whether or not your hair's on display, it doesn't affect how much you care about it.
My dear friends, that opening video makes no sense. I agree. Why would a bald woman be asked to model for L'Oreal? Well, she wasn't. But they have asked a hijab-wearing model to work for them. But you rightly object and say, hey, disturbing trends, this hijabi-wearing woman has hair and needs to take care of it like any other woman. Fair enough. To which I answer, and exactly how do you know this hijabi-wearing woman has hair? Inquiring minds want to know. But first, let's look into what is going on over at L'Oreal. Lisa Niven, the beauty editor at Vogue, says,
why Amina Khan is a perfect fit for L'Oreal Paris's new hair campaign. As a Muslim woman who has worn a headscarf in public since her 20s, influencer, Amina Khan, never imagined she'd find herself starring in a mainstream hair care campaign. But when L'Oreal Paris invited her to join a diverse lineup of men and women for its new Elvive multimedia campaign, taking part felt like it would promote an important message.
Some of us have been scratching our heads over what this message could be. Could the message be, hey, let's smash the patriarchy by featuring the very symbol of female oppression? Our dear friends on the regressive left say that the hijab is noble and uplifting for women. It promotes their freedom. Of course, this is Western-centric logic that speaks of societies that do not force women into practicing purdah or dressing modestly. They tell us that in the Holy Quran, we have a choice to wear what we want. Sadly, there are a number of countries and societies where that liberal interpretation of the Holy Book is invalid.
Is it haram not to wear hijab? Do you have to wear hijab?
Hijab in Islam is, I commend, it's obligatory, fard. It's fard upon a mature female that she wears the hijab. So it's not an optional matter, you must be wearing the hijab. And I'll tell you one thing, sister. Wallahi, your honor is through wearing hijab. Wallahi, you feel honored, you feel respected. Not that I'm saying the ones who are not wearing the hijab are disrespected. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying to my Muslim sister, with the hijab, inshallah, it's a pleasure that you please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you please Allah Azza wa Jal, it's something that, inshallah, you'll be satisfied and content with.
How many brands are doing things like this? Not many. They're literally putting a girl in a headscarf, whose hair you can't see, in a hair campaign. Because what they're really valuing through the campaign is the voices that we have, she told us this week. You have to wonder, why is it presumed that women that don't show their hair don't look after it? The opposite of that would be that everyone that does show their hair only looks after it for the sake of showing it to others. And that mindset strips us of our autonomy and our sense of independence. Hair is a big part of self-care.
I have to admit that personal hygiene is most important. If you do not take care of yourself, then you do not care about yourself and by extension also don't care about those close to you. Under Islam, women do not have autonomy and a sense of independence.
Under Islam, a woman's sense of agency is non-existent. Her individuality is completely erased, or rather, never given an opportunity to flourish in the first place. Sometimes, like it was for me, the statement is both literal as well as figurative. My entire being was dampened by a black shroud, covered from head to toe, without even my eyes connecting with the outside world.
Khan points out that even though she doesn't wear her hair uncovered in public, she spends much of her day at home or around loved ones without a scarf. Moreover, her hair is just as important to her whether it's seen by others or not.
Thankfully for her, Amina Khan lives in a country that allows her to make her own choices. It is important to note that millions of Muslim women in the world must wait until they're home where they can display their hair in private. It's all been fun and games up until now with this heartwarming story of hijabi girls gets big L'Oreal contract. But within a few days, the story turns dark. BBC News reports,
L'Oreal hijab model pulls out of campaign after backlash.
So, what could possibly go wrong with Miss Diversity model wearing hijab?
In a post on Instagram, she says she's stepping down from the campaign because of the current conversations surrounding it. Her decision follows the discovery of tweets she wrote in 2014, which some have branded as anti-Israel. She says, I recently took part in a campaign, which excited me because it celebrated inclusivity. She explains that she is stepping down with regret because the current conversations surrounding it detract from the positive and inclusive sentiment that it set out to deliver. It follows accusations that she expressed anti-Israel views in a number of tweets from 2014. Newsbeat has not seen the tweets as they have now been deleted.
Amazing! They couldn't find her tweets, but it took one Google search of her name only to find them. Let's see why someone has mysteriously branded these innocent tweets as anti-Israel.
She refers to the country of Israel as a terrorist state. This statement should be making the regressive leftists dancing in the streets. In this set of tweets, she refers to Israel as murderers, an illegal state, a sinister state, and so that we can award extra points for hyperbole, Israel, and the pharaohs, are both child murderers.
Pharaohs? What? How the hell did those damn pharaohs get involved with Israel? Oh yeah, several thousands of years ago. Or so we're told. But wait, there's more. Well, more tweets. But we don't want to bore you. Unlike the BBC, you can Google them yourself.
Amina had hoped her role would inspire and empower other women who wear headscarves. Earlier this month, she told Newsbeat, it's a platform for diverse voices and women who don't fit the very narrow mold of beauty.
The last comment about the very narrow mold of beauty is purely political rhetoric. This woman is truly outwardly beautiful. I trust there are many other women who do not fit a mold simply because of how they were born that would love to be represented by L'Oreal. But their outward appearance does not meet the high standards of fashion models. Or how about this woman that surely doesn't fit the mold?
Batena Farghadani is a 28-year-old Iranian artist, and she was just sentenced to 12 years in prison for the crime of posting a feminist cartoon on Facebook. Well, she's a genuine victim of a repressive patriarchal society. Yet we hear little or nothing about women like her from the American women's movement. Why not?
Right now, there are brave women in Iran who are risking everything to publicly protest the laws that require them to wear the headscarf. These are the real feminists. These are the real heroes. It is true that characters like Linda Sarsour and her ilk say they believe that knuckling under to the Islamic patriarchy is so very feminist. After all, Islam is the most feminist religion there is.
Excuse me, Islam to me is the most feminist religion.
But alas, these are just my opinions. I am not the one who has to suffer under the brutal fear of Sharia law. As a human being, I care about all people, all women, and I cannot disagree more with the sentiment that women covering their beauty is empowering to them. The social justice warriors will hear my words and cry Islamophobia merely for criticizing a barbaric religion and its practices. In this video, we haven't even included female genital mutilation, honor rapes, or honor killings. Well, there you go, I just did. I want the last word to be from someone I respect for the work he is doing on behalf of all people suffering under the crushing force of Islam.
And then nowhere in the scripture does it say seven.
It's not your choice at the end of the day.
Well, there we are. There's the problem. What you've just said, that precise sentence, it's not your choice. And is that if we're teaching children as young as 7 that it's not their choice, God said so. And by the way, Fuduma, what happens if you disobey God?
What happens if you disobey God?
Yeah, what does God do to you?
Well, it depends. It's God's decision at the end of the day.
Yeah, and if God decides to punish you, what's his punishment?
Well, it's really down to him.
Right.
God is the most forgiving person.
Okay.
There are many cases.
Okay, but he has created something for punishment. What is that?
Well, yeah, there is hell.
Right. And do you believe in a physical burning hell?
Yes, I do.
Fire?
Yes.
All right. And so, again, I think that when you say... combine those two things together you just said to me. It's not your choice, it's God's choice. And if God chooses to punish you, there's going to be a physical burning in hellfire. I think teaching a child that kind of idea is psychological abuse.
You see, this is the problem at the end of the day. It's always men trying to choose what on earth a woman can wear.
Oh, wow, we're going to get all feminists now, are we, Faduma? Okay, let's go down that line. Name me one mosque in this country that has a female imam that teaches other men and women the religion. One mosque, just one.
Because in the religion, a female shouldn't be an imam.
A female shouldn't be an imam. So in one breath, you're going to say to me, this is the problem, men telling me what to wear. And in the same breath, you're saying to me, a woman shouldn't lead prayers. And you don't see a contradiction in that.
No, because there's differences in the world.
Well, no, I'm not talking about differences. I agree there's differences in the world. Why can't a woman lead prayers?
Because it's not allowed in the religion.
Why not?
That's how the religion always has been like.
Right, so then don't tell me it's your choice, because on the one hand you're saying it's my choice, I'm a feminist, I'm empowered. On the other hand, whenever I ask you, you don't sound like a feminist. You sound like somebody who's saying, God told me, and guess what, Fadumo? God didn't tell you that. That man in the mosque, who's probably twice your age and has come from a developing country, from a different culture, has taught you that's the religion. That's what's happening, Fadumo. And you're saying God's told me. He's got certain medieval ideas as to the role of what men and women are in society, and he's telling you you're going to be sinful, and the punishment for sin is evidently, as you've said, burning in hellfire if you don't follow the specific gender roles he's assigned to you. And yet, you're saying you're a man while you're telling women how to dress. And in the same breath, you're conceding that there isn't a single woman, female imam in any of the mosques. And that feminist argument there isn't really a feminist argument. It's using feminism as a cloak to justify medieval religious conservatism.
Goodbye.